Damn, that's a lot of people. I feel like that is an interesting title. I low-key Sash was playing on the other side, by the way. I low-key feel like I hope that none of my other content creator friends get that like stream going live notification. Glup. Because it's gonna be a little bit of a serious Pelly D-Town Cat stream. We should have been playing Resident Evil tonight, but I did a couple polls on Twitter and on Discord and around, and apparently people want me to play Resident Evil tomorrow and not the entire night tonight, cause I don't know, if it was Friday it would have been fine, but like people have still work or college or school on Friday, so they cannot stay up till like 6 in the morning watching me play Resident Evil. Leon is chopped. Can we ban that chatter? That's the first chatter that we're banning today, by the way. Anyways, first of all, first things first, how are you guys doing? I'm good. I just want to check on you guys. Today, I figured, I saw a lot of discourse on Twitter, and I saw a lot of people talking about it. And I figured I don't know, I figured I wanted to go live and talk about it. I was gonna like do it casually on a stream, but then I was like, you know what? Might as well just like not do it casually on stream. Does this make sense? Time. Um, Let me know if the music's okay. Let me know if the music's not okay. Volume wise and stuff. And yes, today's topic of Pilly D Town Cat's TED Talk is gonna be shipping and internet shipping and fandoms, etc. And I also feel like it's been a while, and I feel like it'll be good for a boundary update from my side too. Mhm. I feel like it is time to do kind of both, cuz I feel like it's been a while. I feel like people that probably show up to my streams a little bit more probably know better like my boundaries or like my mods and stuff, but I feel like I haven't been clear about my boundaries in a while. Imagine if this stream's like Pilly D Town Cat says you can't ship it with anyone. That's my new boundary. I hate shipping. imagine, imagine, dude. Imagine after all this shit that I pulled through, I suddenly say, "Yeah, by the way, shipping's against my boundaries. I'm gonna kill you if you ship me with anyone." um. So yes, I just thought that the discourse that's currently going on in the social media, at least in the MCYT space, is kind of interesting, and I wanted to put my 2 cents because I feel that honestly, I have the balls to speak on this topic because before anyone comes for me, because usually people are like, oh, content creators don't know shit about like fan spaces. Oh, content creators, they don't know anything. They don't know how like fan spaces work. I was raised on Twitter since I was like 12. And I've been in multiple fandoms that I don't even know if I can count all of them. And before you say some shit, bro, yes. Yes, I've had multiple Twitter accounts to stand different things, okay? I've been a stan of things. I've been a fan of things. I've been on your side, and I feel like there's no one else better for this discourse than anything. Being 12 on Twitter is no joke, bro. I survived, bro. I'm a survivor. Um. So yes. Um. Basically, what I'm gonna say is I'm not just a college graduate on being in fandom spaces and in Twitter and in general. I feel like I have a master's degree. I don't know what else is there besides master's degree, but I have like the biggest like degree that you can get. I've been a fan of content creators. I've been a fan of like artists. I've been a fan of things. I've been a fan of games. I've been a fan of absolutely everything you can imagine, okay? PhD, yes. PhD in fandom studies. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Pilly D Town Cat to your services. And I also feel like I have a mature I feel like this is crazy to say, bro, because I feel like I'm I feel like that's because I'm unk, but sometimes I feel like I'm also stupid. Does this make sense? Um, let's just say that I have also a mature approach because I am gonna be 26 this year. I sometimes forget how old I am. I'm just doing stuff right now, by the way, because I gotta kill some animals. But yes. Oh, wait, Saps is changing seat. Never mind. We can run again. What was I gonna say? Yeah, basically, I also feel like me being 25, I also have, like, a better, like, viewpoint. And I have something that a lot of people don't have, and that is being a content creator myself. You know, being in the space, getting to know and talk to people in the space, and, you know, being, like, content creator for, like, what? Like, 5-ish years, almost 6 years now? Hi, Dorothy. So I feel like I literally have, like, every single, like, infinity stone right now. Do you know what I mean? To talk about stuff like this. So, let's just say, okay, first things first, by the way. Um, I feel, dude, I actually said that and I don't even know where to start. I actually feel like I don't even know where to start. Let me think. Let me think. We're thinking right now. We're thinking right now. We're thinking right now. Also, Saps is just distracting me, bro. Hold on. I got a message. Okay. Saps is just doing whatever Saps is doing. But yeah, let me just say. There's been a lot of discourse on Twitter. It's basically kind of like a battlefield. People being like, oh, you know, we should kill everyone that ships people. And there's the complete opposite being like, I don't fucking care. I ship who I want. And it's kind of like in the middle being like, oh, as long as the content creator doesn't mind it and shipping's fun or whatever. And there's also been a lot of discourse around like duos and shipping. Um, and I feel that genuinely, um, I feel like that is something that I have noticed me per se because I feel like you know when you look at someone and you're like, dude, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. I know you. Also, by the way, these are very specific cases. By the way, I will say first things first. I will clarify. Um, dude, what the fuck is Saps going on? This is Twerp's fault. This is true. I'll clarify. Putting everyone on the singular bubble is not good, but that also doesn't mean that it isn't happening just because it's a minority. Um, I feel like once you get into the content creator side is when you realize how much this happens. And sometimes, of course, you don't even bring it to the public. You know, like sometimes the situations happen a lot and they're like messed up and you don't even realize it because you don't even talk to the person or sometimes the content creators just don't bring any attention to it, which sometimes it's method. Imagine if I start speedrunning. But yes, with this being said, I feel like demonizing an entire group of people, just because of the few bad apples is also bad. But that also doesn't mean that, in the space it's not happening a lot. Sometimes the bubble is so big that even if it's the minority, it happens so much. It happens so much, and it's crazy. It is actually crazy how overwhelming it can be sometimes. And I'm just talking about like bad apples, okay? This is the discourse that I'm currently talking about. It's just like bad apples in a big fandom like thing. And it can be mentally draining. You know, it can be mentally draining. I feel like I'm gonna bring a couple of examples in the table this stream. One of the examples is also from one of my characters that I used to roleplay in Spanish. Yeah, those are two statements. I definitely agree. Those are two statements that definitely can coexist. Um, not everyone's bad, but also just because the majority is good, that doesn't mean that the minority is not annoyingly bad and can be overwhelming. Does this make sense? Um, For example, I feel like the peak of my career was when I was doing stuff as the little otter robot in Desafío in Spanish. And that was a massive audience. I feel like that's the biggest audience that I've ever had for one of my character. And I want to grab this as an example because I feel like it's not like an example that you guys know a lot of. So I can use this like perfectly fine. I think you'll be like good for the because it's literally the biggest thing. At least I'm gonna talk a lot about my personal experiences. By the way, I'm not just gonna start talking stream and just like start pointing fingers without having any receipts. Everything that I'm gonna be talking about here is from my experience, from stuff that has happened, from stuff that I've seen, and from stuff that is basically mine. So maybe maybe that's my story and I agree and that's my experience and maybe this hasn't happened for everyone. Maybe this is like of course it's going to be different for everyone else because that's how life works. But at least I'm talking from my experience and just because it hasn't happened to other people and maybe in other spaces it's not the same, that does not mean that it has never occurred ever in the history of everything. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Also, I struggle a lot trying to express myself. So please let me know if something's not clear, then I can like try and make it clear. Because also, you guys know, Pilly D10 Cat main language is not English. I'm trying my best. So yeah. With this being said, there's this character, right? And this character's like main story was kind of like a love story. And one of the content creators that I was involved with, two of the content creators, they're really big content creators, like really huge content creators. And for an entire month that I was role playing this character, I had to like, oh my god, bro. I had to just like stand. It was the minority, of course, but like my DMs would have get flooded with the weirdest shit ever, bro. Genuinely with the weirdest shit ever. I had to deal with so much like harassment. People, because my character was female, I have never seen such like misogyny towards me since I transitioned. By the way, that was fucking crazy. And yeah, it was so bad, and I feel that in a way, I feel like shipping should be something that people do it for fun and for enjoyment, and it should never get that serious. And I will say this as someone who I don't think I've been that much of a shipper in my entire life. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, maybe I ship myself with like a couple like characters, like when I was young. Anyways, but I feel like one of the statements that I want to make clear here is shipping should be something that you do because it's like, oh my god, this two characters, I don't know, they're kind of cutesy. I love them. Yay, shipping. It should never be that serious. I feel like one of the things that you guys need to get out there is like genuinely shipping should never be that serious, okay? Pilly, like, yes, I'm not self-shipping. I'm pretty sure, is it self-shipping? Like, shipping me with myself? Anyways, don't mind that. I feel like shipping should never get to an extent that you're sending, like, death threats. Shipping should never get to an extent where you're just fighting people around. Like, you don't think that Pilly and Leon Kennedy should be together? Well, I think you should die, because I think that actually Leon Kennedy should be shipped with Ada Wong. Like, I genuinely think that this is like, it is genuinely not that serious, and if you're like someone who, whatever you do shipping, you just start firing people for it, bro, I think you need to like step a few steps back, because I don't think that's healthy. And I feel like that is one of the biggest problems that sometimes it happens in any fandom space, but also the MCYT fandom space is kind of big, and the MCYT space is the space that we are on right now. And I think that the space doesn't need to be necessarily bad. There's fandoms that are like worse than others, yes, but that doesn't mean that it can be the least worst. You know what I mean? Yeah. 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 Um okay, but yeah. Sorry, I just read the self shipping message. Anyways, but what I'm saying is, I think that, like, one of the biggest things that I'm gonna be saying today is, like, shipping should never be that serious. It should be, like, a silly, whimsical thing. that if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. You know, slay, bro. This is like me when I had my littlest pet shops as a kid, and I was playing with the littlest pet shops, and then I had this littlest pet shop that, you know, kind of like the other littlest pet shop, and I was like, wait, they're low-key cute together, and then they were like, get married or whatever. My goat Pilly high subs. Yeah, yeah. If someone has different like favorite ships or whatever, someone just comes and says, "Yeah, I don't." The dude, it's genuinely not that serious. It's genuinely, I can assure you, bro. It is genuinely not that serious. It will never be that serious. It will never get to a point that you have to like start fighting people or getting upset about shipping. And if you do, if if you do, that's when you are shipping to an unhealthy amount. And that is one of the biggest problems, and that is something that people have been talking about, that it should never get to the unhealthy amount where things like this should matter, bro. You know? You know what I mean? Yeah. I also feel like fandom etiquette is super important. Like, listen, I feel like sometimes people dehumanize content creators so much. And this is something that has happened to me. And this is something that has happened to maybe probably my friends, bro. And this is something that has happened to probably almost everyone. I understand that, you know, sometimes there's people that want to go against content creator boundaries. You know, it's like, well, actually, I don't gaff. I'm gonna do whatever I want. But you also have to be like mindful. You have to be mindful. You have to be demure. Cuz this could like apply if we're talking about a cartoon character or a character from a video game or like anything else. But we're talking about a person, okay? We're generally talking about a human being. We're generally talking about a human being, and I get that you want to be like, well, I do whatever the fuck I want. Well, you also have to be. I feel like it's just about being not an empath. Oh my god, guys, I think I'm an empath. Well, you guys understand what I mean. I think that you guys also have to take into consideration just to be mindful. You know, just to have common sense when doing stuff, because it's like, yeah, you can say all those things, but at least in the content creator space, you also have to take into consideration the other person, because it is a person. It is a human being. Yes, sometimes they play a character. That's for sure, bro. They play a character. Me myself. What do you think? Do you think I'm a fucking cat in real life? Do you think I'm a fucking cat in real life? No, bro. Do you think whatever? No, bro. But like, I feel like sometimes it's good to know the difference between um you know, a character and a content creator. And I feel like in character, sometimes things might be like more, you know, things can be more like okay because it's a character at the end of the day. I know that there's people, for example, me, um, I at least on my lifestyle boundaries, I remember I put stuff like, hey, for my cat character, you can do all of these things. I don't really mind. Why did I make seeds? For my character, like my little cat character, you can do all these things. I don't freaking mind. But for me, I personally don't like that, and that is okay. You know, I feel like the least thing that you can be is be mindful and a nice person. And Therian, bro, yes, I'm a fucking Therian, bro. I'm gonna bark at you. Sorry, my bad. What do you mean you're not a cat? Fuck. What do you mean you're not a cat? I feel that I'm gonna say it as it is. If you on purpose break a content creator's boundaries and then shove it into their face, knowing that you're breaking their boundaries and just doing it in front of them, knowing that that's gonna like make them uncomfortable, that's gonna upset them, I'm so sorry, but you're just a shitty person. I'm just so sorry, but that just speaks that you're not a good person. Um, I don't know how else to say it. That's how I see it. If I have a boundary, for example, like if I have a boundary that I don't know, bro, don't draw me as a dog, bro. Maybe you can have your little head cannon, you draw me as a dog, whatever. But if you just like post it everywhere for me to see, and you know that that's gonna make me uncomfortable, and you're posting it everywhere knowing that I will see it, you're just a horrible you're just a horrible person. You're actually a horrible human being. And again, this is the thing about dehumanizing content creators, because like that's just having no empathy about how I feel, and you just see me like as an object, or you just see me like as a thing and not as a person with feelings. Yeah. And I think that at that point, bro, just get yeeted out of the community. Generally just get yeeted out, bro. um and if you're, I feel like drawing you as a dog as you speak. Wait, can we be dog together? Wait, sorry. Anyways, as I was saying, yes, I that's at least how I see it. um I feel like genuinely it's not that hard. It's genuinely not that hard. First of all, it's not that hard, and second of all, it's not that serious. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's genuinely not that serious. Like, I feel like a lot of people that get so angry about the discourse that's currently happening, that feel like so fucking offended. I genuinely think it's not that serious. We're talking about like, it's just crazy to me. You know what I mean? I feel like if people have get angry, because I've seen some angry people. When I'm saying this may not be everyone, but I've seen some really, really angry people, and I've seen some really, really like pressed person. I think if it kind of hit a nerve, maybe it's time to like step back for a little bit and reevaluate things. Because I don't think that this discourse should be making you this mad. I don't think I at that point. I don't think the thing that you're doing is in a healthy way. It's actually in an unhealthy way. Um. Yes. Is this making sense so far? By the way. Okay. This is like a small like checkpoint. If this is making sense for everyone here. Okay. Um. Okay. What I wanted to say next is like, um again, I just feel like people sometimes get so into the fandom space, because I mean, I can be a fan of like, I don't know, bro, what am I a fan of? I can be a fan of creepy pastas, but I'm not gonna do the same things that I do with the fictional character that I do with the content creator, or a character of a content creator. Oh my god, Sab's in the end. Sab's is in the end. 12 minutes in. Holy shit! Sorry. Oh my god. Sorry. Repeat everything you said with your stream unit. Thank you. I'll do that just for you. Yeah, it is fandom not. It is fandom nonsense, but I still wanted to put my little two things. I feel that also, a lot of these things happen when there's younger, fans in the audience, which is, it's the normal thing. It's the normal thing. I still believe that, this also goes for like the whole like Therian thing going on. I feel like you should let kids be kids, bro. If someone's having fun, if someone is like doing something, bro, let them have fun. Like, let them have fun. Let them have, um Jesus Christ. Let them do whatever makes them happy, bro. But also at the same time, I feel like two statements can coexist, and I feel that if when I was younger, someone educated me on etiquette, or someone educated me or told me stuff, the stuff that I was doing was kind of like messed up. Well, not messed up, but like, if someone told me that, if someone told me that like shipping two K-pop idols together was a little bit kind of silly at the time, I would have done that. Does that make sense? I feel that me personally, I was more into the fictional fandoms of cartoons and things, but the only like recollection that I've had till this day, um, it was probably the K-pop stuff. And yes, I would say there was a time where I was like, when I was younger, and I was like, oh my god, they're gay. Spoilers, they're not. Well, not that we know, but like, you know what I mean. Quick lore drop, yeah. Um, Low, same here. I'll say though, with that being said, I think the fictional characters of the K-pop idols play in a specific music video, I think they're gay, and that's it. We're not gonna have this conversation. But that's my interpretation of it. And that's the thing. That's the thing. You can you can have fun with it. You can like do the stuff that makes you happy in life, as long as you are mindful. This is a reminder to just be mindful of those people who are actually people. You gotta be a hashtag empath. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh, this is another topic that I did want to discuss and stuff. I feel like at least for my community, I feel like my community is kind of chill, because sometimes I can easily identify when someone's being like parasocial or someone's being weird in my chat, and I immediately cut them. I feel like I try at least to my best to cut what being parasocial was, because unironically, dude, almost sub 15. That was Perch was yeah. I feel like when you're like younger, you can definitely be taught like etiquette. You can definitely be taught all of these things. Good work, Sabs. But yeah, oh my god, bro. Sorry, I was getting more juice. What were we talking about? I got distracted. Oh my god, why is Flux here? Why is Flux here? Oh my god, bro. Are you gonna ask me to leave? Quick, be nonchalant. Fuck, dude. Dude, he didn't even reply! He didn't even reply! He didn't even fucking reply. Oh my fucking god, I'm gonna kill myself. Sorry. Back to the topic. Wait. I don't know if they're asking me to leave. Okay, let me know if they ask me to leave, by the way. Okay. So, basically, I just want to make... I think they kicked me out. Gulp. Well, let's do private batches. Let's do private batches. There we go. Flux, point out your rank. Oh my god. This fucking... Oh my god, bro. Wait, was Flux here this entire time? Okay. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by the man with purple eyes. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, that this is another experience. I might get crucified for this. It's okay, you're my favorite Cold 3 player. Hi, Mungie. Did they kick me out, Mungie? Did they hate me, Mungie? Mungie, please be honest with me. Did they kick me out? Yeah, Saps is ending. Oh my god, please don't rate me, Saps. Please don't rate me. Again, I think when, at least in the MCYT space, when there's like shipping, I think that it should not be demonized. I feel like that's a word. It should not be demonized, but it should also not be done to an unhealthy amount. And I'm gonna talk from my personal experience of something that happened earlier last year, and something that was a horrible situation that to any other content creator, it might have been even to the point that it would have made them quit whatever thing they were doing. Thankfully for me, I'm kind of built diff, because I got, like I said, when I used to average like 3,000 people, and I used to have like the biggest character that I was talking about earlier, I got fucking dehumanized, and I got fucking harassed and insulted for like an entire month in horrible ways. So I kind of built like resistance to it, which is sad. You shouldn't even go through that from starters, but I feel like to this situation, to anyone else, would have been like really, I can see this like taking a toll on someone, right? Oh, thank you for the sub. Um, W sub. Um, so a few months back, during the realm, I'll say. There was this situation. I've talked about it on stream, but I've talked about it a couple like I talked it in a low key way in the middle of the night in a random night. I haven't done it with like a spotlight on me. But basically, I'm even shivering. I know I'm gonna get crucified for this, bro. I know that there's gonna be some people that are not gonna be happy with me. But that's okay, because I'm a brave little guy and I'll speak my truth. Because it's my story, and I feel like I'm allowed to tell it because, it's my story. um, speak your truth, thank you. Um, a couple months back, like last year, there was this whole like character thing that I was doing on the realm. I feel like a lot of people probably don't know the realm because I feel like nowadays my community is a mix of everything because I'm kind of everywhere. But in the realm, I was playing this character where there were two characters that kind of had like a platonic kind of like some sort of like relationship. Now, I don't mean like a romantic thing. Like, oh my god, they were like kissing and like no, it was so like very like platonic. It was all kind of like soulmate separate thing, right? And for months, that was the thing that was kind of like happening, right? There was like this whole story, and it was kind of like doomed. And it was really sad. And then one day, my character died. My character died. Yada yada yada. And then we had this whole plan because in my mind, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I come back and then it's a 180 switch for the story purposes. Like, wouldn't it be funny instead of just going back to normal like it was, my character comes back and then, uh, instead of being all this like kind of like platonic soulmates, instead they hate each other, and they start like beef and things like that, right? Just bros being bros platonically, bro. Loki, can I pin this, bro? Can I have that? This is all I want in life, bro. Anyways, um. And at the time, it was like fun, like fine. The story was kind of like progressing at some point. The things were meant to go back to like normal, and they were meant to make like a character development and stuff like that, and but yada 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 yada. W storytelling, basically, right? But then there was, by the way, I'm the things I'm gonna say here. I in no way I'm sending hate to any content creator. By the way, I love both content creators, and I don't think it's their fault. That's the thing. I don't even think it's their fault at all. And I'll also say I am really good friends with them. They are also my closest friends, and I'm speaking this because stuff and if you think that I'm wrong and you know them better, I have news for you, and I think you're just being parasocial, by the way. I don't know what other way to put it, but like, if you think in this ground in this story that you know the situation better than I do, I think you're being parasocial, and I'm just gonna say it like that. But yes, as the story kind of like started to change, I actually really like the switch of like, oh my god, this horrible thing, really like toxic things going on, and then someone shows up for this character that's actually like a good anchor, and it was like good because then they started to get this like kind of like ship together, whatever. They started to be like this thing, but then something switched in the universe. Something switched, okay? And I don't know why it is when two white men start doing gay stuff that people just get really obsessed. Really obsessed into a way that kind of freaks me out sometimes. And that's when I started raising my concerns, That's when I started like being like, this is not bueno. This is not bueno. This is I should bring my concerns up to the people involved because I've seen this happen so many times and I know exactly how it's gonna end. And what started happening was that people kind of blurred out the line between content creator and between a character. And people cannot differentiate that shit. People do not differentiate like playing a character. People cannot differentiate like me as a content creator. So what happened was that everything that I worked for that character, every single thing that I've done, every single everything, just got like completely fucking demolished. It just completely like everything got demolished, and it wasn't even the content creator's fault. Like everything got buried on the ground because all that it got like reduced to was a ship. I opened Twitter so many times to tweets of people calling me an abuser, by the way. People were just like constantly like sending hate. I'm pretty sure I even got a couple questionable DMs too. And I even remember like I think even chat messages sometimes will be kind of like yeah, exactly. For like a Minecraft character roleplay. And I feel like in a way, at least how I see roleplay is like it's kind of like acting. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Jen. Well, it is acting. It is acting. Give me a second. I got like sent a thing from heaven. Fight the mosquitoes. Hold on. Put it in the window because last time I put it in the ground, I almost like had like a carbon dioxide like intoxication. By the way. So let me just put it here. Owie. Let me just do this. No, that's okay. There's just a lot of mosquitoes. Give me a second. You guys don't even understand how bad this is. Oh my god, hold on. It just fell, bro. Trying to put it by the window. Bro, why is it that mosquitoes, bro? Genuinely. Hold on, give me a second. This is like... It should be fine. I think. It was just like really rainy a couple days ago, so now it's really bad. I need to put this in the window. Okay. Hello? Hello? Are we there yet? Okay. Okay, hopefully this just makes the mosquitoes go away. Okay. Okay, yes. So, basically, what this story was, sadly, the idea, I had this really, like, scary, like, concept that I have for my character that I just had to tone down because people, first of all, didn't have freaking etiquette. People genuinely like, okay, I get that you hate my character, and that is so valid. You know, you do you. I'm being a fucking asshole. Yes, of course you're gonna hate my character. But that doesn't mean that you have to go on and hate me. It went to the point, where I couldn't even talk to my friend without getting trashed on. Every time that I talked to them, every time that they were like, I was nearby their, like, range of sight or anything, everyone would just start complaining. And I don't mean like just 5 people. It was everyone. It was everyone, dude. And it got so bad that I feel like even at some point it kind of did affect our friendship in a way. At least that's how it felt for me. Because it was just so mentally exhausting that because of this thing, every time that I try to like even hang out with them, I was just getting like hate. And I feel like Loki, you were like, oh, but that kind of it's not the issue anymore. That kind of is not happening anymore, Pelly D Town Cat. And yeah, you might be right, but also I have seen through the months and the time see so much people reduce my character to an evil X, to a ship. Every time I've heard people complaining that every time that someone like uses my character like in an art, in like a fanfic or whatever fan media they do, it's only there to be played as the evil character that then leads to the good character. And thank God, thank you for the bits, by the way. Thank God that, you know, I do have like a backbone and I low-key kind of don't gaff because that's just me being me. But I can definitely see how the situation can be like exhausting to everyone else. You know, I can see how this situation could have like demotivated someone to even playing entirely. And it got worse the more like people got obsessed over a ship. Because now it was not just people just hating my character because my character was an asshole. It was just people hating my character because in their eyes, all my character was an evil ex trying to get back to their whatever. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even because, and I feel like that's the thing that's like worse. It wasn't even because like, oh, this character is evil and awful and a red flag. I hate it and it should never get close to my favorite character. It was more like, I hate this character because this character is trying to ruin my ship. And I feel that that is something that is exactly the obsessive, toxic shipping discourse that's been going on. That is exactly a situation where it's like, that is shipping to an unhealthy and a not good amount, and that is exactly the problem. Yes. Also, I think like another thing is that I feel like shipping is fun. You know, like I said, sometimes I have my two littlest pet shop and I like, wait, they look you're kind of cute together. And then I play dolls and that's like my two littlest pet shop and they like together and have a family together and happily ever after future. But also, I feel like shipping, when you're shipping something, that character is not only the ship. Okay? I also feel like that is the thing. Like, that character is not just a ship. Like, I feel that is so, like, that is also shipping to an unhealthy amount when you have a character that is only seen as a ship, and that's it. And this also goes for content creators, too, by the way. Because I have seen people treat friendships or duos and only, like, dehumanize them to be only their ship. And that is also shipping to an unhealthy amount, and that should not even be done in any extent. And that is low-key, like, people, and this also goes for friendships. This also doesn't go just for ships. People are their own persons. And just because I'm here doesn't mean that Leon Kennedy has to be attached to every single thing that I do. You know what I mean? Just because Pelly D-Town Cat is, I don't know, bro, getting a world peace prize Nobel thing, that doesn't mean that Leon Kennedy has to also get the Nobel Prize of Peace. You know what I mean? And I can't express how mentally exhausting it is. So people may have more tolerance over it. And some people may not even gaff about it because it's also the case. But I can't express how, like, dehumanizing and morally draining it is when you're trying to do something, but then everything has to be around the other person. Like, imagine I'm just talking about, like, strawberries. And suddenly an entire chat starts talking about, like, oh, you're talking about strawberries because Leon Kennedy likes strawberries, right? You know what I mean? I feel like maybe that's not the best example. But, that is, again, part of the etiquette, and that is, like I said, part of the great example of, shipping to an unhealthy amount. And it should never get to that point. It generally should never get to that point. It is generally the equivalent of, like, imagine being, like, a worldwide sensationship of, like, something, bro. You're, like, super good, but then you marry, like, Leon Kennedy, and you're always reduced to, like, oh, that's Leon Kennedy husband just won, like, a worldwide tournament. It's literally the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Yeah, 100%. And, I also, like I said earlier, I feel like there is definitely a blurry line right now between duos and between shipping. Because I feel like duos is. Let me see how do I phrase this. I feel like some people definitely treat duos as a ship in disguise. And before you say, what? No, that's not true. You can't hide from me. I know what you are. I know what your intentions are. As much as you say no, I know there's someone out there that definitely does. Yeah, I know what you. This is exactly like I know what you are, and I'm not saying this is the case for everyone, but there's definitely people that have done that, and it's just like, bro, you're not slick. You know what I mean? It's really obvious. People can tell, and it's really obvious. By the way, you're not slick, bro. Like, I love duos. What are some fun duos? Let me share. You know what? Let me share some fun duos that I really love. I'm scratching my head. I don't think you guys can hear it, but I'm scratching my head. I honestly am blank. I'm blank. Hold on, let me think. I don't know. But yeah, there should be. I feel like people should have, like, a clear distinction between, like, shipping or duos, and you should not be like, no, that was not my intention. I never meant to do it this way. I know what you are. I know what you are, bro. Also, I feel like people. Can I, as an aromantic, asexual person, by the way, sometimes people don't really know. They use the word platonic, and I don't think they even know what a platonic relationship looks like, by the way. Of course, every platonic relationship is different because every person is different, and platonic may be. But sometimes I feel like people also use platonic relationships as a way to shield from actual shipping. And that is also a problem, bro. Like, I'm so sorry. That is also part of the problem, bro. Because sometimes I've seen shit, or I've seen, like, takes. Sorry, not shit. But, I've seen stuff. That's the word. I've seen stuff, and I've seen takes where people are just like, but this is just all platonic. You're just saying that so you can just get the free password shipping, by the way. Again, I know what you are. I hate people conflicting. I don't know what that word is. Queer platonic, like the queer platonic relationships mean nothing to you, bro. I feel like some people genuinely need to, like, again, take a step back. Take a step back, They despise the ship as queer platonic because they can't ship, bro. I know what you are. I'm so sorry. I know what you are, bro. I genuinely know what you are, bro. And you're also not helping the case. Like I said, shipping, dude, just be mindful. Just have common sense, bro. Don't disguise it as, like, oh my god, they're just a duo. And also don't disguise it as, like, oh my god, they're just platonic friends. They're just a platonic really. My brother in Christ, everyone in the room can tell what you're doing. And this is coming from like again, like an aromantic person. Can someone explain? Bro, I feel like I tried to explain it the other day and it was genuinely I'm pretty sure there's someone with this is like when you bring someone like a different doctorate. You know, Dr. Pilly D-Town Cat is not graduated into explanations for in detail for like stuff like this. I don't want to like accidentally like. Oh yeah, I feel like goes to another thing is like this is again falling into the association thing. Like I feel like for example, imagine you come to my stream and you're like, "Oh my god, where's Leon Kennedy?" First of all, that is mean as fuck because you're again doing the thing where you just am I a trophy wife to Leon Kennedy? Is that what I am? And second of all, I don't fucking know, bro. You're on my stream. You're generally on my stream, bro. Like, I can do my own shit. I can do my own stuff. And you don't have to, like, just, like, dehumanize myself to only being a duo or only being an attachment of a certain person or only dating this. Again, I can be a little bit mean when I'm speaking right now, but I'm also saying because I feel that there's just a lot of people that just don't know that, and there's a lot of younger people who haven't done that. I feel like I am definitely someone that, you know, as long as no one's doing a crime or a horrible something, like actual, like, horrid stuff, you know, let kids be kids and let kids have fun. Because that's part of growing up. And, yeah, maybe I grew in the internet, maybe to, like, an unhealthy degree because you know you know the internet was the only thing that I had, so I was always in the internet. But also I wouldn't have changed my experience in the internet, and I feel like sometimes going through certain like things as a teenager or like even younger or whatever are part of growing up, and they're part of like stuff that I wouldn't change. Does this make sense? um yes, I'm gonna pin what Aloy, dude, thank you, Aloy. I'm gonna pin what Aloy said, but yes. Um, for you guys that want to know what queer platonic stuff, but yes, basically, is there anything else that I have to say? Yeah, please, bro, please. All I'm begging is, bro, don't. If you're gonna ship, at least make sure that you are not being unhealthy about it. If you're gonna ship, at least make sure that you're being mindful and demure and nice and kind and empathetic about the entire situation. You know what I mean? Oh my god, hi. Hi, persons just followed that I'm not gonna mention. If you're gonna do all of that shit, bro, the least thing you can do is try to do it to not an unhealthy amount, because I'm telling you that doing it to an unhealthy amount is also not doing you good. It will, and then you know what? When you grow up, you'll realize that. When you grow up, you'll realize that, and you'll be like, damn, I was kind of stupid. But yes, dude, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Um, thankfully for me, like I said, I've kind of grown a backbone. I've been in this streaming thing for like 5 to 6 years. I don't even fucking know. I've been a fan of things. I've been a stan of things. I've been in like fandom since like 2013, bro. I think that I have a reasonable view of every single side. Yes, it's just think about your actions and how it can affect other people. And just, I feel like you don't have to be selfish. Um, especially when we are talking that on the other side there's also a human being. I feel like the world would benefit from people being kinder and nicer to each other. And also, again, I think that if this whole like discourse, if you feel like insulted, if you feel offended, if you feel that at some degree you're getting too angry and too pressed about this and you're hating on someone else's for their take, which by the way, I feel like if someone else has a certain take on this that may upset you, you should also understand that that person is probably speaking from their own personal experiences and that their take is also very valid. Um, again, it's at the end of the day, it's all about being mindful. It's all about, you know, it's all about being mindful and have common sense. Um, yeah. I'll also say sometimes people don't like shipping, not because they think it's weird, but it's because people will be weird about it. Does this make sense? Because I feel like another topic that I wanted to like take on this was at the start of my career. This I one of my boundaries was actually to not get shipped with anyone. I was don't write me in fanfics, don't because I was really scared of parasocial people. Don't write me in fanfics, don't do anything, don't ship it with anyone. And I was also really scared of like I was also really scared of like friendships getting ruined. Because I've seen it happen when sometimes the shipping gets to an extent where things become uncomfortable for you and the other person. Um, like maybe you want to stop interacting with them that much in public. Maybe the friendships feels kind of odd, and this is things that have happened, and this have happened to me. Um, and maybe some people won't gaff about it that much, but I know that there's some people that this can definitely like negatively like affect their whatever, right? And I feel like a lot of reasons why people don't like shipping or are against shipping um can also be because of this, and they're also really valid takes. Like a person can have this and also be like understandable from their side. um yeah. And me at the start of my career, no shipping was a really heavy boundary to the point that, I'm pretty sure like mods at the time would even like delete stuff or like stuff like that. Um, really often, which is kind of silly because in the Billy D Town Cat pipeline, I feel like nowadays I'm just kind of gay. Let's just say it like it is. I'm just kind of gay and I'm having fun with it. To me, it's not that serious. Like, to me, most of the jokes that I make, like, this probably, I feel like some of the jokes that I also make are probably because I'm just very aromantic. So, I technically, like my character, to me, it's not that serious. I can go call someone and I can be like, hey, do you want to get married? I love you. But, like, as a joke. And then, you know what I mean? But that's just me. That's just me. Anyways, we're kind of sidetracking here. I also feel that, for example, Aloy made me a question earlier that kind of made me realize is like what changed. And I feel that what changed was that one, I realized that things were not that serious. Um, and I feel like at least for me, um, I feel like I have a very like separate like persona from my actual IRL self. Um, you know what I mean? It's like, um, how do I explain this? I feel like this is also really interesting for me to say because when I started streaming, I was technically like I identified as a woman. I no longer identify as a woman. And I feel like a big reason why I was just putting no shipping at the time was again, I didn't want to make things uncomfortable between friends. And second, I feel like being a woman in the space is really scary. And I feel like shipping and everything like that can get okay, thanks. Um yeah. Basically at the time I just feel like having to get shipped with someone as a woman is a fucking terrifying thing. And I feel like definitely post like transition and all that, I've been more comfortable with it because the sad truth is that people are not gonna be weirder with it. Um, and it's something that I can speak from personal experience. The way that I was treated before and the way that I was treated now. I feel like if I was a girl making all of those jokes that I would make with my friends, I feel like I will just get hated on. By the way, this is like I genuinely feel that people be like, oh my god, this person's like kind of weird. Why are they making jokes like that? Meanwhile, when a guy does it, it's kind of like okay. Um, but that's like a whole different topic. That's a whole different discussion. That's a whole different thing. To this day, I still get like misogynistic hate, of course, from transphobic people. Like they kind of go hand to hand. But I feel like definitely the way that society, the way the society used to like perceive me and stuff like that was definitely more scarier before than now because of my identity. Um, so yeah, I feel like I've definitely been on the two sides of the coin about being scared about like shipping, being scared about people being parasocially weird. I feel like one of the things that I was mostly scared of was just people being weird. Generally, it was just people being weird, and also because I was a woman at the time. So like, um, I feel like that was just generally people. That's literally what terrified me. It's just people being weird. People being weird about it, not being able to like control themselves or like be mindful and have like etiquette or whatever. Um, but yes. That is a whole like other bag of problems that I don't think sadly they're ever gonna get fixed or whatever. Um, but yes. Um, again, someone asked, do you have tags you will not check? Usually, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I kind of don't gaff. I kind of don't gaff. I know there's some people that have like muted tags and stuff. I don't gaff. I'm guessing that tags you mean like hashtags. I don't really use Tumblr. Um, I don't really use Tumblr. Um, so I don't really know if you're asking for muted awards on Twitter. I generally have 0 muted awards, bro. Um, but yes. Why is it raining, bro? Why is it raining? Why is it generally raining? Um, I don't know if there's anything. Again, I just want to like reemphasize for the people that haven't been watching. Please don't dehumanize content creators. Please don't reduce content creators to only a ship. Please don't be the annoying person in the chat that's always asking for this person's friend or pair or duo or whatever all the time. Also, just because I don't know, bro. Just because I talk about green doesn't mean that I'm talking about Glibglorp. Um, if you're gonna ship or do whatever you want, bro, if it makes you happy, full and content, and your heart, happy and whatever, just be mindful of the entire situation, be mindful of the other person, because at the end of the day, we're talking at least MCYT space, they are a human being, and if you're just being selfish and you don't really care about what the other person feels like, and if you're shoving it to their face, you're just a shitty person, point. And I don't like you. Um, and if you get pressed by any of this, maybe it's time to step back and go outside. Mm-hmm. And also, don't get, dude, genuinely, it's okay if you get interested in the media because of a ship, because me, myself, I've done that before with, like, movies or things like that. Because sometimes I'm like, wait, these two characters are kind of cute. And, just make sure that you care about the character and not just about the ship, because again, that is shipping to an unhealthy amount. It would be a lie to say that at the end of the day, it's kind of ironic because I feel like my career was kind of built on shipping. Glup. You have to be aware. You have to be aware about that. I do gotta say, like my biggest like moments in my career have been attached to a ship, but that just because the biggest moments or the biggest characters that I've had were very central around a ship, that does not mean that my character should be dehumanized to only a ship. And with that being said, this is the part of the stream boundaries, and I'm putting this as a heavy boundary. I don't want you to use my character on any media, if it's fan art, if it's a fanfic, if it's an AU, I don't want my character to be only used as this like a side character that's only used for your character to like. I don't want to be portrayed. Like, I'm just gonna word this better. I don't want to be portrayed as an evil X only. I don't want to be portrayed as like a side character that only appears once for like another character to like shine light through and be the hero of the story. I don't want my character to be diminished to only a ship or only like an X ship or only like something like that. And that is heavily against my boundaries. And hey bro, I'm saying, oh, I see everything. I see everything. Play D-Town Cat. Doctorate in fandoms. I see everything talking right now. I understand, but I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna ban you from my chat and I'm gonna ban you from all the. I listen. Some other content creators. It's like, oh, they'll never know I'm breaking their boundaries. I see everything. I see everything, and you can't hide from me. You can't hide from me, bro. You can't freaking hide from me, bro. I don't consent. I don't want, and I absolutely hate to be a tools for other people's stories. Can you write me in fan fictions? Yes, bro. Like, please write me being happy, bro. Jenny, write a story of me being happy, riding into the sunset with Leon Kennedy on arms and just being like fucking happy in life. Dude, I think fanfics are cool as fuck. You know why? I've read fucking Passerine. I'm gonna say it right now. I read fucking Passerine. It's been one of the best literature things that I've read in my fucking life, bro. I do whatever your heart decides. Do whatever fan media you want to create. That is okay with me. If you want to draw, if you want to, I don't know, bro. If you want to make your own YouTube Littlest Pet Shop series where I am a little cat and then the other person's like you have like a whole Littlest Pet Shop cast, go do that. But don't use my characters and don't use my persona only to be a tool to step on for your ship or your other things and just like mischaracterizing me, bro. I fucking hate that shit, bro. I fucking hate that shit, bro. Stop fucking mischaracterizing me, bro. Oh my days. Oh my god, bro. That's it, bro. That's it, bro. I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired of that. I mean, if you want to be like, I don't know, bro. Maybe you can make an AU. It's just like, just don't mischaracterize me in a bad way. If you want to make an AU where Pilly D-Town Cat is actually like a loser, because that, of course, that never happens to Pilly D-Town Cat, then go for it, bro. But like, I feel like, again, it's just having common sense. You know what I mean? It's just having common sense. I don't want to see any more. I don't want to see people complain. Here's the thing. I don't want to see people in my community complaining about me just being put in these horrible situations and I'm only just a side character to everything. If you're gonna put me in any media, at least make sure that you know Pilly D-Town Cat Ball. If you don't know Pilly D-Town Cat, don't even put me in there, bro. I do not wish to be associated, please. Thank you. Yes, bro. Yes, bro. That is like one of the boundaries that I wanted to like say. I feel like as any other boundaries, I'm kind of like really open to everything because like I said, at least for me, I feel like I'm okay with it because to me this is just my character. Again, my content creation is just the cat and everything I play on the internet. It's just a character. Yes, it is me, but it's also not me. Does that make sense? So like I'm kind of like okay-ish with most things. You know, just go have your fun, do whatever you want, bro. But again, be mindful. What else is like another thing? Like I said, I'm really just one of those content creators that I'm kind of like really just chill about most things. It's like a D&D character almost. Kind of yeah, bro. The only thing that I don't want is, please, yes, I'm literally saying here out loud that I am okay with most things. But also, please, if you're gonna ship me with someone, make sure that the other person is okay with it too. You know, just make sure, because what if Leon Kennedy comes here and he's like, I hate shipping. It makes me uncomfortable. It actually makes me really uncomfortable. And it's making me hate this space. It's making me hate being a content creator. It's making me feel uncomfortable every time that I go live because people are shipping me. And I low-key don't fuck with that. Because sometimes people don't even like romantic shit. Sometimes people are just, they just don't like romantic shit. Even outside of content, they just don't fuck with it. And they don't like to be associated only with romantic stuff and with shipping. And that is okay. And I want you guys to respect that. Because I feel that that's the bare minimum that you can do. You know what I mean? It is not that hard. It's genuinely not that hard, bro. So yeah. Just make sure that whatever you're doing also doesn't break any of my friends' boundaries, doesn't make any of my friends uncomfortable. Then go have your fun, bro. I don't know. This is like, go play dolls for a little bit. Go have fun. That's A-okay. And I feel like those two things should coexist. Just because I am being open and okay with most things doesn't mean that the person you're associating me would be also open, okay with most things. Yeah. Yeah. It is an issue that I've definitely seen people just... I feel like this is an example that I may be parasocially speaking, but it is a great example outside of the MCYT community. I remember at the time, K-pop ships were super popular. At the time, every single time the two K-pop idols post their picture together, it will only be that ship and that ship only. There were people making theories about if they were really gay, which, spoilers, they probably weren't. And there was this whole thing to an unhealthy degree, because I would say, by the way, K-pop fans are the most parasocial people that I've ever met. But that's a whole other thing that I'm not gonna get into. I didn't know. This is like surviving a horrible situation that you didn't know it was. I didn't know I was being parasocial until I joined the streamers kind of fan community or whatever. I didn't know what parasocial was, and once I learned what parasocial was, I was like, wait. This is the description of every single K-pop fan. And being parasocial is not good, bro. It is generally not good. And that's okay what made me tab out of the K-pop community a little bit. I still like K-pop though, don't get me wrong. But yes, it's just, I remember at the time, K-pop idols would have stopped interacting in public as much because of the shipping. K-pop idols would have stopped taking pictures that sometimes they used to post so many things, and there would be times where there was 2 years with no even pictures together, and that was because of the shipping that got to an unhealthy amount. And that is a massive example. I might be parasocially speaking about this because you don't know what goes, but I feel like that is a hypothetical scenario example that I feel like it's kind of good to bring up. Maybe that was not the case, but I'm still bringing it up as a hypothetical example. And yeah, basically that can also happen with content creators, big or small content creators. And I've definitely seen people stop talking to another person because they only get associated with a ship and just make things uncomfortable. And it's I don't even want to hang out with this person anymore because every time that I do, I just get dehumanized to a ship, and that is making me uncomfortable. Yes. Do you guys have any questions? I hope I express myself to the best. Again, English is not my main language. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Again, I also feel like educating people or just teaching people etiquette is also a good thing. I don't think that just because someone's doing something, we should go and okay, this is another thing that I want to say. This is a Peli Ditan cat take. I'm not speaking for anyone else that my friends and stuff. I feel that if there's someone that is young and they're doing something, I think that there's nothing worse than generally doing a witch hunt and making fun of them. I hate that. I hate that, bro. I genuinely fucking hate that. I think that I think that talking to a person and making them understand and just teaching them etiquette or teaching them manners or teaching them like, yo, maybe this is not something you should be doing in public spaces. Instead of just like actually everyone pointing fingers and bullying them. I genuinely hate when people do that. I genuinely hate that. I understand that, you know, the thing the person is doing is bad, but also I don't think that it's making you a better human being to just do a witch hunt. Because usually the people that do this, unless it's a fucking grown ass adult, bro. Unless it's a fucking grown ass adult being a weirdo. I don't think that doing that, especially to the younger audiences, is something good, bro. And I don't like. I'm always a believer of like someone can just get talked about it, and maybe if they don't listen, you know what, bro? Just move on, bro. Just move on, bro. Sometimes people can be a little bit and sometimes you try to explain them stuff and they won't listen because you're being edgy or whatever. Um, just move on, bro. I feel like there's nothing that I hate more about like unless again unless they have done something that is actually like fucking like something fucked up. Like genuinely something fucked up. Like some fucked up shit that actually like someone needs to get like deplatformed or something that is actually like just is not just about like this thing or this thing that's kind of like that is just generally like unless he's just done some fucked up shit. I generally hate witch hunts. I generally hate when there's an entire mass in the internet that just turn around, point fingers, and bully someone for something that they're doing. Um, yeah, I generally think that if your response, because I've seen them happen and I've not been a big fan of them. Um, yeah, I genuinely think that, especially to minors, bro, I don't think that you should be sending hate or internet because at the end of the day, bro, you don't know who's gonna see it. You don't know who's gonna see it. You don't know, like that's the shit that like you're bringing attention to it. I feel like sometimes it's worse when you're bringing attention to it because you're just gonna make like a small thing that you can just like whatever move on. There's things that need to be brought up. I feel like this is kind of like a weird thing to kind of talk about because, like I said, I'm not saying that everything should be this way. There's definitely things that are like really fucked up that people do that they should definitely get called out for. They should definitely be held like accountable to some extent. They should definitely be like deplatformed for stuff. But again, like I'm saying, sometimes the situation is not that, and Jesus Christ, um, sometimes just going on a witch hunt's not like a good thing, especially if it's a minor, because you're genuinely this is the equivalent of like that one content creator that used to like quote retweet with their massive fan base people that disagreed with him, and what will cause is like a huge massive hate that could like either end up in potentially doxing them or like potentially, you know, like worse things that could happen to that person. You never know what's going on off the screen. You never know what the IRL situation is for them. um you never want to like promote unnecessary hate in those situations because yeah, you can get either dogs and like sometimes, you know, when you get dogs, it doesn't even stop on Twitter. It doesn't even stop on Twitter. Sometimes these people can even get like followed around and I don't know to like their other social medias and get hate in other social medias. um that is at least for me. I know there's gonna be people that heavily disagree on me. Again, this is my take and my take only. I'm not speaking for anyone else. This is just like my take on this type of stuff. Um, I just don't like when it's a hive mind of people like just witch hunting someone for something that genuinely, as easy as it is, just either try and talk it to them and just be like, hey, this is not good. And if it doesn't work, just block, bro. Just genuinely block them. Um, I feel like this also because I'm just really like I don't like Um, I just don't like it. Um, but yes. But yes, I don't know if there's anything else that I kind of have my two takes to do on this, by the way. Yeah. Like I said, I also fully believe that sometimes these situations it is definitely the younger side of the audience. It's not always the case, but it's definitely most of the cases. And I just feel like it's so easy to just talk to them or just not go completely into like a hate train on the internet because those are awful, bro. Um, yeah. And again, those can also put like someone else can just end up seeing it, and you could also end up putting in danger another person. Um, yes, I think. I do agree though. People need to be reminded of internet safety, bro. But I feel like I feel like honestly, uh, I genuinely feel that the current like generation on the internet definitely knows more about internet safety than the earlier generations when I was growing up. I'm gonna be so honest, bro. So I genuinely think as more generations kind of grow on the internet, more generations know about internet safety, which is good. But that's a whole like different topic. Um, with that being said, I think I'm done. I feel like I'm done speaking because if not, we're just gonna keep branching out the things. This is the only thing that I kind of do. I feel like if you guys have any space to ask me about any boundary, I feel like this is the time before I end stream and continue with the normal non-serious Pelly D Town Cats stream schedule. The Silly and Whimsy stuff is probably gonna be back. But I feel like I just need to speak on this topic. I'm gonna open Twitter, bro, and I'm gonna open Twitter and I'm gonna see a billion death threats on my Twitter right now. I do have a quick question, sure, bro. More like a slow question, bro. They're probably writing it out. They're probably writing it out. Yeah, no worries. I'm just waiting. Um, bro, honestly, I don't freaking know. I think I posted an image on my alt account where it kind of like that had like a low boundary and stuff with like fan, and I feel like still like applies, bro. Oh, the lifestyle boundaries on Discord too. The lifestyle boundaries on Discord too. That's true. I don't know if I saw your question. Oh, wait, I did not see your question. Sorry. dyslexic. What do you think is the solution for creators who feel like they can't interact with several of their friends because of shipping? Bro. I wish there was a simple like solution to that. I feel like it definitely there's no simple way to put it because I can speak on my own experiences, but I can't speak for everyone. There's not like a universal thing because everyone's like different. You know what I mean? Everyone's like different. Everyone's gonna like think things differently. So, um, like I said, I can speak for my own, but again, I don't really feel like I can bring in like a magic solution to like a problem that has different variants. I feel like I don't know. It is kind of like a weird thing. Thankfully, I am mostly like chilling because I'm just a general chill guy. But I feel like that answer can vary for whatever content creator it is, pair content creators. For myself, I don't really feel like I feel like what I would have done in this situation is probably talk with the community. I feel like what I would talk in that situation, but that's also because I'm just really open and okay with talking about stuff like this. I would just talk with the community, and I would just be like, "Hey, so this situation that is happening. Just be like open about it. This situation that is happening. I will love for you guys to respect this, to be stopped, because I'm Loki. I don't want this friendship to be ruined because of this. I don't want this to be like a thing that changes something in my life. Yada yada yada. That's what I would do. At least I will like talk with my community and just be like, you know, I'm a human at the end of the day. The last thing I kind of want from you guys is to respect this thing, or at least you know like stop doing it in front of me at all times, bro. That is yeah. Yeah. Thankfully, I'm someone that if I see someone being parasocial, or if I see someone like being weird, or whatever, I just cut them. I just cut out that shit instantly, bro. What's your opinion on like the don't read stuff? I don't know what you mean. I don't really read fanfics, so you have to be really kind of specific. My only fanfic kind of like experience was when I was like 14, 13, right? Like writing and reading creepypasta fanfics. So I feel like you have to be like more specific about that. Don't read. Well, what do you mean? Is this like for example, me I'm a horror fan. I really love horror movies. But I don't really like certain type of genres and I'll never watch Terrifier. And not because I feel like it's scary. I just don't enjoy the genre. So I mean if I don't like it, I just don't watch it. That is I feel like that is my take on that. Like if I know that I'm not gonna like watching the Terrifier movie, then I just don't watch the Terrifier movie. Were you Jeff the Killer? I feel like as a kid I was definitely a Jeff the Killer Ben Drown guy, but as a like right now, Loki, bro, like probably like Toby or Slender Man, even like Masky, bro. But yeah, that is I don't know if that's a good like response to it. I feel like you know I'm a big horror movies fan. I love watching media. I love horror movies. Um, but I don't like Terrifier, and I don't like that genre. So I would just not watch Terrifier. Because why would I watch Terrifier if I don't like Terrifier and I don't like the genre? I also think that fandom spaces are fandom spaces, and there's like Like, if you go out there to look for things that if you go out there to like look, this is like kind of like walking in a really dangerous alleyway at night. I think it's kind of obvious you're gonna get stabbed or robbed. I feel like some people, yeah, I feel like sometimes just not digging through to find stuff. You're gonna be happier that way. The internet's always gonna be the internet. That's the sad truth of it. Um. Mm, I can assure you guys, once you start minding your own business, bro, and you just use the internet for like the stuff that you kind of just only like, and you go outside. This is crazy because I don't even touch grass, but if you just like, I just feel like once you're in the internet and you realize like, damn, this is the internet. And you go outside and you touch grass and you only use the internet for the only like the things that you like, and you start like stop like you don't walk into dangerous alleyways getting the risk of get like stabbed. Your enjoyment of your experience on the internet and in life is gonna be way better. You're not gonna get like angry or stressed about like situations that you should not even get angry. So how do you even, you know what I mean? Psychological horror, supernatural horror. Oh my god, I hate supernatural horror. Let me rephrase this. I hate the horror that is cheap. I hate cheap horror, and cheap horror is like using, because the majority of the population is religious. You're using religion to create horror, and I fucking hate that. Oh, you're gonna go to hell. Oh, the devil's in your house, and it's gonna possess you. Ooh, there's a demon. There's a demon. Fucking cheap fucking movie prompts, bro. Generally fucking lazy fucking everything writers, bro. I don't fucking care. I hate that trope so much, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be so fucking honest. I don't know anything about AO3. Back in my day it was Wattpad, my brother in Christ. If you are looking through AO3, if you're looking through your stuff in AO3, bro, that's on you, brother. I have nothing else to say. That's on you, brother. Do you know what you're getting into, bro? Listen, I can express I've never seen any weird shit, cause you know what? I don't even go there, and I don't even fucking care about going there. I'm not gonna start digging around trying to see if I explode a mine. Meanwhile, like this is like playing Minesweeper. Like if you just stay in the comfortable zones, no fucking mine. Of course, if you're just gonna like walk through the fucking dangerous like area with the high numbers, of course you're gonna like fucking blow yourself up, bro. Again, like I said, I wanna like state again that this is Pelly D Town Cat speaking, yeah, for Pelly D Town Cat. I'm not speaking for any of my friends. My opinions are my opinions, and I'm a grown ass man. I have my own opinions, and my opinions do not have to be associated to any of my friends, by the way. Because everyone is a different human being. Surprise, surprise. So everyone will have different opinions about everything. At least these are my opinions. Um, So yeah, I don't know. I will probably be taking my leave soon because I want to go hang out with my friends that I love. By the way, um, do your content creators following your? Is your blog like your? Is your blog like your account, or is like a blog like a community post like Twitter? Blog is account. Oh, okay. Why are content creators? I Content creators follows people's blogs, like fan blogs. I don't know. That is actually kind of shocking to me. That is actually genuinely shocking to me. Content creators follow fans' blogs. But that is again a me thing. That is a me thing. That is a Pili Tanga thing. I feel like I've had experiences with fans being too parasocial that I just that's just why I just don't kind of like about it. But that is again Pili Tanga being Pili Tanga. I feel like content creators. Here's the thing: content creators. I don't see why content creators should be demonized to not be in Tumblr. But also I feel like you being a content creator in Tumblr should also be mindful of where you're getting into. Does this make sense? I feel like both arguments can coexist in that way. To me, Tumblr is kind of like in the same bag as AO3. Like, that is just a fan space, bro. Twitter kind of is, but I feel like Twitter used to be Twitter used to be kind of like a Tumblr. I feel like at least in the early days. At least that was what it looked to me. I feel like nowadays Twitter. Jesus Christ, bro. I was about to say Tinder, bro. Yeah, Tinder, the social media everyone uses. I was gonna say Twitter is like the fucking thing that everyone kind of uses nowadays. Cause back in the day it was like Facebook, bro. I feel like Facebook and Instagram were the two like biggest like social medias that people use back in my day when I was younger, bro. I feel like it was Instagram and Facebook, maybe because I was like more Latin America kind of like thing. But I feel like nowadays Twitter is just more of like a Facebook because Facebook's kind of chopped. Does this make sense? Yeah. Twitter is like where you find the celebrities. Twitter is where you find like the people, the big people, like tweeting and stuff. Twitter is like more of a Facebook nowadays. But I definitely think that Twitter back in the day was definitely more of a fan thing, a fan space than anything else. From buying Amino, can I just say I celebrated so hard when Amino got fucking nuked, bro. Oh my god, I can't even express how dangerous was Amino to miners, and I was still surprised that Amino was still a thing, bro. Don't even get me to start in a fucking Amino, bro. Yeah. I feel like I didn't know that you could do that stuff in Tumblr, to be honest. Again, I don't really use Tumblr. So if I see something that is just blandly incorrect, please let me know. But I feel like that's also like a good thing that content creators should just um do if they're going into fan spaces. It's just like in Twitter you can mute a word, or like I guess in Tumblr you can mute a tag. Is that the thing? And I feel like Amy like doing that is kind of like W from them. I gotta say he's kind of based for that, but I feel like AMC has also been kind of like not in fan spaces, but they understand fan spaces. Does that make sense? Listen, just make sure to tag your shit, bro. As easy as that, bro. Just tag your shit, mute your shit. And I'm telling you, bro, if you don't want to see an apple in fucking Twitter, bro, just mute the word apple, bro. Mute the word apple without. Now that I'm thinking about this, I should probably mute like Resident Evil, because I feel like the game just came out. So I should probably mute Resident Evil. See? Great example. I don't want to see anything Resident Evil. I don't want spoilers. I want to play the game on my own. I'm going to Twitter and I'm muting Resident Evil, bro. Because I don't want to get spoilers. Who should we raid? Should we raid Deathly? I'm gonna raid Deathly, by the way. I think this is it for the serious Pele D Town Cat stream. With that being said, I'm gonna be a fucking freak tomorrow, because I'm playing Resident Evil, and I feel like that's gonna be one of the most monumental streams of my year. So, you are more than invited to join me tomorrow to play Resident Evil. Um, W self promo. Yeah, actually, I baited you all. By the way, I hope you all know that I baited you all. This entire stream, I just wanted to talk about something that was kind of controversial, so I can get viewers, so I can promote my Resident Evil stream tomorrow. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, no. You are more than welcomed tomorrow to watch my Resident Evil stream, because I'm obsessed about Resident Evil and about Leon Kennedy, and I think I'm gonna be so unhygiened, fuck English, bro. Generally, you know what I mean, bro. I just generally, I don't think I will have to, like, I don't think I'll have. Oh my god, bro. I generally, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go raid Deathly, because Deathly is my Money SMP teammate, and also Sap's Money SMP teammate. I love your ending screen. This is not really my ending screen, but I just feel like this should be brought in, because tomorrow we are doing Yaoi and we're doing Gay Old Men. Not in that way. You know what? Whatever, bro. Yes. I love Leon Kennedy, and I'm not gonna be normal tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not gonna be normal tomorrow. And it's gonna be really fun, because I'm not gonna be normal tomorrow. I'm just not gonna be normal about Leon Kennedy tomorrow. You know what? Maybe I'll just start barking. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I should ban, like, Flux from my chat tomorrow. Maybe I should ban all of my content creator friends tomorrow. Maybe I should put a list that I should ban every single content creator friend, so we can have a mindful and safe place that I don't feel like anyone's gonna be joining the stream and I'm gonna be fucking barking at Leon Kennedy, bro. It's out now? Oh. So we're gonna go over to Deathly. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and we're gonna play Resident Evil first time tomorrow. You're all more than welcome. I could be playing it right now, but I'm being nice because everyone kind of wants to see me play Resident Evil. And you know what? I'm gonna put a button tomorrow. Every time the Leon shows up, bro, I'm just gonna be playing the song. Every time the Leon, I'm gonna have like a thing in my Steam Deck. That every time the Leon shows up, this is gonna be playing. We're just not gonna be normal, okay? We're just not gonna be normal. You're more than welcome to come back tomorrow. Alright. Bye.